whenever y'all ready.
Coach, can you just kind of go back and recap a little bit about the Marshall game for us?
We took the ball, which was good. We went out, scored the first drive, which I thought was a good drive. It's good to come out with me. We preached starting fast all week, and so I think that was an extreme positive. But, after that, it was just, we left a lot of yards out there. And I think that's evident. But it's just simple execution. There's nothing to really talk about other than, we gotta make plays whenever we get opportunities, some of them were contested. You got to give them credit at times. There were some of those plays were, not necessarily the easiest ones to make. But we got to make our share of them.
Charlotte, what are we looking at here? Them coming in.
Probably similar as far as I don't know if I'd say schematically, but they try to. I thought Marshall. We talked about that last week. I thought they kind of mixed up the coverages. They had like 2 or 3 things they did, and they tried to make them all look fairly similar. Same way, we played, obviously they played Charlotte last year, and I played them last year, and so familiar with them in that extent. So, they get elaborate at times. They'll get to where it's some elaborate blitzes, elaborate coverages. They play, it's just, some off the wall. They're going to play cover 2 at times when, really you wouldn't necessarily see cover 2. So I think they try to do a really good job of mixing up coverages and mixing up fronts, stemming, a lot of movement, not really a defense that stays put a lot, and so they're going to move around, and they got a D lineman that, in my opinion, is probably one of the best we've seen all year. Very active. You can tell he's very strong. I think he leads the nation in tackles for losses, or he's up there, so he's a very active player.
Coach, when you face a defense like you're describing with the Charlotte, is it more important to just focus on doing what you do well than to game plan specifically for them?
I think so. I absolutely think you're 100% right. I think, to be completely honest with you, I think that's important every week. I think sometimes we get away from that, and you start trying to chase rabbits and ghosts a little bit, But ultimately, offensively, I think that's one good thing about an off week is you go back and look at, stuff what worked in games, and really, it's funny. As coaches, we sit up there and I'm in that room all day, every day. Our kids aren't in that room all day, every day, and so typically the stuff that works on Saturday or the stuff that they feel comfortable with, not the stuff that we came up with. You get what I'm saying. It's just they have to go out and execute it. It doesn't matter what we know. So typically those things that you've been repping from day one are the things that end up working in the game. And the one beautiful thing about our offense for years, and I learned it for the people I work with, is don't venture too far from what you're good at. Don't give the defense too much credit. Don't try to sit there and chase ghosts because you see something that might work, but you haven't necessarily done it. You haven't necessarily repped it that way. Typically, if you've been executing it well offensively, it doesn't matter what they do. You need to typically stick with that, You start getting away from that, it's when you start not being good.
Coach, the 170 yards on the ground Saturday, a lot of that, give credit to the backs, but the offensive line as well. Why are they so successful Saturday?
I think they've been really playing physical the last 3 to 4 games, really. I really do. I think that, the LSU game was a game that I think that, we came out and we ran the ball pretty well at least for the first half, And so I think that I think our guys have a lot of confidence up front. They're playing well, and obviously, our Ito's a special player, and so, a lot of that, he gets some of that. Even when it breaks down, he's pretty good, but he had some gash runs there that our O-line did a really, really good job, and so they're just meshing well together. Proud of those guys. Just the physical part of the game we've been preaching with those guys, and that, from what I see on film, we're taking that and running with it because it looks like we're playing physical.
Anything else? All right, Coach, thank you.
It's easy, guys.